Hi, everyone. My name's Sophia,
My name is Hank.
and welcome to You Know Me So Well. So, I'm going to be honest, we're doing today's episode super last minute. We're less than 24 hours away from when the episode is supposed to launch, and we honestly could not come up with a topic that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So, we are going back to our roots. We're going back to that day in December when we first came up with the idea of doing this podcast, when we were just rambling at each other, absolute nonsense. And we're like, oh my God, what if we made a podcast where we just ramble on a microphone and share it with the world? So, today's episode is going to be really random. It's not going to have a topic or a theme.
We're just going to chat.
It's just going to be us talking. And actually really funny, Hank is recording this off of his phone because his microphone doesn't work. So actually, fun fact, the episode that was supposed to go out today has been recorded, but Hank's microphone decided to just go haywire on him.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't have a microphone right now.
Yeah. And I've been gone away from home for like the last week and a half.
Yeah, and he didn't plan ahead. So now we are doing this. And I'm watching him
some stupid holiday in the state of Utah, so I couldn't even go grab it.
What holiday is it?
Pioneer Day.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the Testicle Festival.
I wish. No, people actually get work off of this.
So I was sitting, so I'm doing an internship right now, and I was sitting at my internship and we were having lunch, and one of the guys was doing a presentation on maps, and he was like telling us about this map he found with like all the most popular festival in each state. And he was like, yeah, the one for Utah's Testicle Festival. And I was like, literally, what is that? I've never heard that in my entire life. So, Hank, have you ever been there?
I'm not. I'm actually really want to go now.
Well, maybe you should check it out.
Yeah, I actually should.
It should be happening around now. I think
Really?
It happens in the summer. Yeah, I looked it up.
Let's go.
I will be honest, there are no articles since like 2008, but I'm sure you can find something.
Oh, totally.
There's no way they just cut it off.
Hopefully not. I need to see some testicles.
Yeah. It's actually really horrid what the festival is about, but I'm not going to get into that.
Wait, what's the festival about?
No, I'm not telling you.
All right,
I already told you. I totally told Hank. Because the first thing I did was went to Hank, because whenever Utah comes up in conversation, I go straight to Hank.
Of course.
He's a little Utah native. Utah runs deep in his blood. He loves Utah.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Go Utes.
Go Utes. I will say I do love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just loves Utah so much. Anyways, we both watched Barbie in the last 24 hours. Actually, it's been more than 24 hours for me now.
I'm seeing
Hank,
Oppenheimer tomorrow too, but thoughts. I thought it was really, really good. It's like, I don't know what I expected, but I think it did a really good job of blending like being simultaneously a very unserious and sarcastic film with having like very serious messages and like actual like meaning to it.
Barbie was for the girlies.
It was.
For the girlies only. And so if any men out there actually got it, well, props to you. Because there's not a lot.
Shout out my boy Ken though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oppenheimer's for the boys though. So I'm seeing that tomorrow.
You know, it's so funny. So basically in my internship, we had to do this like building your brand workshop. And it was basically like, who are you? What's your brand? You know? And they gave us this workbook where we had to answer a bunch of questions on like our brand. And it was just like different questions, such as one of the main question that I'm going to refer to is, it was basically, what are you enthusiastic about? Okay. So of course I said my podcast, obviously, pride and joy. By the way, on that note, I actually presented why people should listen to my podcast on Friday at my internship. So that's not dedication. I don't know what is.
Sure. If any of the people Sophia presented to are listening, hi.
Anyways, but there was that. But also, so obviously I was like podcast, like my YouTube channel, blah, blah, right? then we were supposed to give the same workbook to two other people who were like sitting near us, and they had the same questions to fill out about us. And one guy wrote entrepreneurship and health. And I don't know why I thought it was so funny that he put health. Like, it totally makes sense because I'm going to be honest, like, I do health shots every morning at my cubicle. I'm the one who goes to Whole Foods to go get vegetables for lunch. I literally ordered, oh my God, Hank, you don't even know this. I ordered okay, there's this place called like Radish Salads here in Tennessee. I ordered a West Coast radish salad that's supposed to have salmon on top of it. And before anyone comes for me for the way I say it, yes, I say salmon, okay? Like, because literally when I was like, I didn't, okay, wait. I'm jumping ship on the story. Okay. The point is, I get the salad. There was no salmon. There was no dressing. It was simply kale, sweet potatoes, radish, and edamame. That's what I ate. Yeah, it had no sauce. I literally just ate kale, radishes, and sweet potatoes for lunch. So yeah, I mean, it does totally make sense as to why health was on there, but I just thought it was funny that someone pointed that out. I also work out like every day. Okay, like if you really think about it, maybe I'm a little bit of a health freak, but when I think about it, I don't think of myself like that because I feel like I'm pretty lenient. Like, sure, I try to get in some fruits and vegetables from time to time and work out and like my little health shots, but I also like will eat whatever I want. And there are days that I don't work out.
So why did your parents name you Sophia?
Why did they name me Sophia?
Yeah.
Why'd they name you Hank Henry?
Well, I'll answer, but
okay.
You have to
Why did they name me Sophia? Basically, my parents initially wanted to name me Maya, but they went to this birthing class, and I guess everyone was naming their child Maya, and they didn't want me to have a super popular name, which is so ironic because, you know, Sophia ended up becoming the most popular name for years. But anyways, they had these friends who had just had, or I don't know, she's probably a couple years older than me. They had a child named Sophia, and they thought it was a really pretty name, and so they called me Sophia.
Okay. Where did Maya come from?
I don't know.
That you just have no idea?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Why'd they call you an old man's name?
My mom, the story I've been told is that my mom babysat a kid, like a young kid named Hank, who she really, really liked and like was a really, really good kid. And she liked the name. But they wanted to give me Henry because she thought I might want to transition to that as I get older because it's a more professional, older sounding name.
There's a Henry Hank in my internship program, and he was explaining how everyone calls him Hank, but when he got into the internship, he decided to just go by Henry because he knew it was more professional, and I actually really appreciate him for doing that.
I'm going to be me forever. Oh, maybe I'll transition to Henry eventually, but I feel like I'm just Hank at this point. Like
Henry is just so classy. Like, I love it. I honestly would name my child Henry, but I would never, ever allow them to call themselves Hank. It would just be an absolute no for me.
I like Hank though. It's like it's a cute name. You have any questions for me?
No.
You have absolutely zero questions?
Yeah.
I just got back from vacation, saw my friends for a little bit, and then
we're going to do an episode on that. Fun fact.
Yeah. We will.
In a couple of weeks, you can expect an episode on boys' trips.
Yeah. Yeah, and then this weekend I was in.
Maybe we should just
actually just
maybe
got back
we should
today.
Just tell them our whole entire agenda, guys. This is what you can expect for the next month. Ready?
Yeah.
Here are all the episodes. Get ready.
Big one next week.
Big one next week. Big one the following week. Another big one the week after that. So get excited, okay? If you haven't been like keeping up with our podcast, I'm telling you right now, it's time for you to follow us on whatever streaming platform you're listening to, because it's about to get good. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Like, I'm genuinely, I wish I was kidding.
For our loyal, reoccurring listeners, you'll be rewarded very heavily. I think so, at least. But I think you guys will love it.
Yeah. It's going to be good. I promise. What else? What else has been going on?
Saw my favorite artist in the world in a concert last night.
Who was?
Drake. Drake. I saw him at Madison Square Garden, which is a very surreal moment. Like, I don't know if I need to explain this, but like Madison Square Garden is like the most historic venue and like one of the most historic venues in like the world. So seeing my favorite artist there, and the energy was crazy. Everyone was hyped the whole time. He was going crazy. It was honestly incredible. So if Drake is listening, you know, I just want you to know I had a great time at your show.
Well, maybe we can get him on the podcast at some point.
We should actually get Drizzy Drake on the podcast.
Okay, never mind. He won't be on the podcast.
Why not?
Just because you said that.
You know how much clout we would get from having Drake on the podcast?
Okay.
We'd get like millions of new listeners right off the rip. I am wearing a shirt right now that says I like what Drake likes.
Guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm just really like exhausted, and it is way past my bedtime.
Yeah. And I also, right before Sophia called me, I was going to go have dinner. So I'm also just sitting here like just hungies. We're both not in our finest.
We're not in our finest moments.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry. I use the word all the time in public, but I feel the need to apologize for using the word hungies on this podcast.
Have you ever used it before?
Hungies?
Yeah.
Not on this podcast.
Then why did you apologize for it?
Because I've never said it on the podcast before. It's a weird thing to say.
Yeah. Hank says a lot of weird things. I have high standards for relationships and for our podcast, and it just wasn't really meeting my standards.
As you should. Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah, understandable.
Oh my God, Hank, other thing.
What's up?
So, long time ago when I was going to India, I had first a 16-hour flight and then like a, 3-hour flight after that. And Hank was ever so gracious to create a playlist for me called Sophia International Jan.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I didn't listen to it on the flight. Maybe like I listened to like one or two songs, but I didn't listen to the full playlist. And I honestly had never really listened to it until today. Well, yesterday and today. I was playing it at work and I was like, what is this playlist and why is it so good? Like, this is so...
There's bangers on
No. This is so not Hank, because here's the deal. Back, like, almost a year ago, when we started long distance, Hank created a playlist for me, and it was like, I don't know, Hank, what was the point of the playlist? I couldn't really figure...
It was songs that I knew and liked that were, like, love songs. And just, like, songs that I would listen to that, like, reminded me of Sophia.
Okay, so... He created this playlist, and so I would play it all the time. Like, literally, if I was going somewhere, I'd be listening to it. If I was working on something, I'd listen to it. So I was, like, listening to it nonstop for months. And I loved it. I ended up loving all the songs except for, like, one or two. Most of them I had never heard of before. But anyways, this other playlist I had actually just never listened to until past couple of days, where I've realized that I hate all my music that I have in my playlists, so I decided to try something new. And there's just one song that I really, really love, and I can't even remember what it's called now. Here, I'll try and find it.
All right, say less.
I just for some reason I was just like, oh my God, yes. Like, I'm sitting at just imagine me sitting at my cubicle, like tapping my foot, like working on my capstone project, just going at it as like my cubicle neighbors are like trying to have a conversation about candy or something like that. Yeah, that's...
I don't know if I've ever told you the story of me making that playlist, but it was like, since you were going to be like on a flight for so long, I like wanted to like find music that like I knew like the style of what you like. And so I was already just like scrolling through Spotify for just like hours the night before, just like trying to find music that I think you'd like and put in this playlist. Like, none of the songs on there are like really mine. It was just me trying to find music that you'd like. Yeah, that's what I thought,
because I was like, this is just so not him, you know, that now that I've been listening to it. Good God, what is that song called? Now maybe I'll have to play it all the songs for everyone so we can figure out which one it is. Oh, it's called Evacuate the Dance Floor. Oh my God, I love that song. That was so, yeah. Like, I've definitely heard the song before, but I've not heard it enough times for it to really like register in my mind. So when I heard it, I was like, who made this thing and where can I find this person?
Yeah, if any of you guys want me to make you custom Spotify playlists.
I thought you only do that for me.
That's true, actually.
Gosh, I'm offended now.
I take away the offer.
Oh my gosh, guys. I'm being cheated on.
I was trying to be nice to our regular subscribers.
That sounds like I'm being cheated on. Hank, like what if there's a girl who's listening and thinks that you're really cute?
Well, I am cute, but I'm sorry. There will be nothing that will ever happen between us, but please keep listening to our podcast.
Maybe one day you'll have a chance.
No, I'm all right. Thank you, though. I came home today from like my week and a half vacation, and my dog was just like, he was so excited. He was just like running around the house, and then he cuddled me for like 4 straight hours. It was a beautiful feeling.
Guys, I'm not an animal person. I don't like animals. Specifically, I don't like dogs.
You gave it, I have to admit, you gave it a good college effort.
Look, here's the deal. After many, many years of being alive, I've warmed up and I've understood what the protocol is when you see a dog, okay? When you see a dog, you go, oh, so cute, you know, and everyone kind of does the same thing and they're all looking at each other. Like everyone's looking at each other like, oh my gosh. And I'm just like, oh, so cute. And I'm just like, get this dog away from me. And then, of course, you know, like if I'm visiting someone that has a dog, obviously you have to give the dog some attention and pretend like you think it's the cutest thing ever. So that's what I do.
You would give Gus unprovoked pets.
I used to be a big animal hater. I've slowly warmed up to some pets.
Yeah.
Like my friend Signa. Hi, Signa, if you're listening, because I put her on this podcast recently. She had a cat and, well, she has multiple cats, but there was one in specific, like one day I slept over and by the morning of the sleepover, it was just me and the cat having a grand old time.
See, that's beautiful.
And before that, I wanted nothing to do with the cat, so.
Yeah, I have multiple pictures on my phone of you petting Gus.
That's cool.
Yeah. Besties.
Yeah.
Son and mother.
And then if my sister's listening to this, she's going to be majorly traumatized when I tell the story. But we actually, so my family's like not necessarily a pet family either. Like we never had pets growing up and I'm so happy for that. But after I left home for college, my sister really wanted a cat. And so for her, what was it, 14th birthday? Yeah, it must have been for her 14th birthday. She got a cat, okay? So, of course, I was away at college. And so when I came back, like, for winter break, there was all of a sudden a cat in our house. And she was semi-devilish. Like, she kind of grew on me and stuff like that. She was cute. But it was also, like, a pain in the butt to have a cat in the house at all times. But anyways, come back for spring break. You know, me and Guava are having grand old time. And Guava decided to run away on my watch.
Yeah.
And Guava was never found.
Sad. Very sad.
Yeah. And every time I go, remember when we had a cat to my sister? She looks like she wants to tear me apart. So,
yeah.
Manisha, I hope you enjoyed the reminder.
Yeah. Because I remember Sophia and I had only been dating for like a couple months.
Oh my God, yeah. Like there was this one time where like I was FaceTiming Hank, and so I put it on Guava and Hank were just staring at each other.
Yeah, a couple of besties. But yeah, we'd only been dating for a couple of months at this point, so I was like, oh, Sophia's going to be so sad. Like, I need to be there for her.
Oh, no.
And then, like, the day after she runs away, I'm like, how are you doing? She's like, I don't really care.
Yeah, no.
I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, at least now we can open our doors without being scared that the cat is just going to run away, you know? 'Cause
also, if she was still around, whenever I would come to visit your family home, you'd wake up to me sneezing 1,000,000 times in a row in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah, because Hank has a cat allergy, which was so funny when I learned that. Yeah. Just like when I learned he was ex-Mormon.
Yeah.
We actually told that story on the episode that was supposed to go out today, so I think we should tell it now, shall we?
All right, so yeah, me being an ex-Mormon. You want to tell it from your perspective, or?
Yeah, because it's so funny from my perspective. Okay, so we start dating, right? The weekend before we started dating, if you haven't listened to our How We Met Part 2 episode, you should go listen to that because that's kind of the explanation as to what I'm about to talk about. But anyways, the weekend before we started dating, we were hanging out and we would literally like just lay in bed and watch these YouTube videos. And we watched this like the Cody Co Girl Defined YouTube video.
Oh yeah.
And after that, I started to talk about Mormons all the time because I find Mormons incredibly fascinating. And when I was in high school, I had two friends who were sisters who were Mormon. And so I learned a lot about Mormonism through them. And it just like completely baffled me. You know, I was like, this is such a different way of life. I didn't even know this existed for the longest time. And it's still so fascinating to me. So 2 months go on, okay? 2 months of me talking about Mormonism all the time. Hank just, you know, he's just like, yeah, Mormons, so fascinating, slay, you know, that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
very, you know, just cool about it. And the worst part is like there were so many signs that I should have totally gotten it, but I didn't. And so I'll tell you what the signs are after I'll tell you the story. But basically, we're sitting in Utah where his family lives. Okay. We are sitting with his she was what, 23 at the time?
Yeah.
23-year-old sister who is married and has been married for like 3 years.
No.
And her husband is talking about how like he's not super close with his family anymore because he's not Mormon anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you got married in the temple. So if you are Mormon, then I'm now moving over to Hank, and I'm like, that has to mean that you're Mormon too. And so, yeah, at this dining table in Salt Lake City, Utah, I found out I was dating an ex-Mormon, and he had just decided not to tell me this whole entire time. Every time I talked about it, he just decided to
I stopped going when I was like 12 years old.
pass over the fact. Hank, come on now. I'm sitting here. I'm having the best time talking about Mormons, and you're just sitting there like, yeah, I don't know anything about the Mormons. I know as much as you know.
I really don't even have that much to contribute to the conversation of Mormons, though.
Anyways, so it was obviously the fact that his family lived in Utah, the fact that everyone in his family got married at a very, very young age. Like, we would be old. Like, if we were to get married right now, we'd be
about right.
Yeah, we'd be on the older side of when people got married. And he had a sister that went to BYU, which should have been honestly the biggest giveaway for me because I knew exactly what BYU was.
Right.
So, but no, I thought she just went to BYU for fun, you know. Like, who thinks that? So anyways, yeah, and to this day I just make fun of him for it, especially because he's going to school in Utah now. So he's
not BYU though.
He's converting back into his Mormon roots.
No,
yeah,
no. Most certainly not.
Yeah, he's gonna find a nice Mormon girly, and all of a sudden,
she likes to create this like fiction idea of me in her head for some reason. She absolutely loves it.
What else?
What else? What?
What else? What else do you have to share about me?
Like, we'll lay in bed at night and she'll just tell me about all the ways that, like, she'll start trying to tell me about my future life with a different woman and, like, all the things I'm going to do and, like, my children with her. I'm just like, shut up.
You know, it was really funny. So, other thing Hank decided not to tell me until, like, very late or very recently. So, I always had this idea that Hank was into stereotypically basic white girls because that's been his dating history, and he's dated a couple of girls in his life. Okay, Hank is a lucky man. I'm gorgeous. I'm smart. Like, I have so much to offer, but still, I just always thought, not his type, his standard type. And then one day, literally like 3 and 4 months ago, we are sitting at lunch and Hank decides to all of a sudden reveal that his type has always been girls that look like me, like that have like a more tan, as he said, brown complexion.
Yeah.
Guys, a year and like 2 months into us dating, you think I would have it would have probably been beneficial for me to know this a long time before that.
I didn't know how it'd be received.
Yeah, I laughed at his face when he said that. And then I went and told everyone I knew because I thought it was the funniest thing ever, especially the way that he said it. The way that he said it was just too funny. Like,
I didn't want to tell you and for you to think that like the whole reason we're dating is because I'm like, yes, I finally got one.
Well, that is kind of that. I mean, yeah, you did finally get one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but it's like that's not the reason we're dating.
But yeah, anyways, I thought so on the stories of everything Hank hasn't told me or decide to keep a secret for a long time in our relationship. Those are the two main ones.
Yeah, our viewers just don't understand. I get embarrassed quite easily, and if I don't know how something is going to be received, I just kind of try to keep it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I personally enjoy just not knowing.
I feel like I really am. I feel like you like know at this point. I don't think I have like any long-term secrets.
I don't know. I mean, if there were 2 of them, God knows how many more there are. One day he's gonna like pull up and be like, "I actually have a child. She's 5 years old."
That'd be crazy. Yo, can I tell? I need to tell a story about a dream I had the other night. So I had a dream the other night that Sophia and I had a kid, right? And it's our first day back with the child from the hospital. The child has been alive for 1 day. And we have this house. I don't know. I've never seen it before. And I put the child down in his crib for his nap. And then I leave and I go downstairs. And I'm like, a little bit of time goes by and I'm like, I haven't heard from him in a little bit. So I go upstairs and the child is just fucking dead. And in the dream, I start like breaking down crying. And Sophia comes up and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, our kid is dead. She's like, whatever, stop crying. That was actually how it went down in my dream.
That says a lot about what you think about me.
No, that's not true at all.
It literally does. I'm not even kidding.
No, it was just a little dream, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was just a funny story to tell. But I actually think about that a lot. That's actually one of my worst nightmares in life.
I will say I've been having major baby fever recently because where I've been staying, it's a very like family town and there are babies everywhere. And oh my God, I want a baby so badly.
I was saying to my friend this weekend, I was like, maybe it's time for me to settle down and start a family.
Oh, that's a horrible idea, Hank.
It is. I was not being serious, but
Hank is still a little baby boy himself.
You know, although I don't know, my parents had my oldest sister at this age, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. No, I couldn't imagine doing it.
Yeah.
And yet there's a part of me that just wants to be settled down and married and having a baby.
There's a sense of security that comes with it.
There is a sense of security that comes with it. That's so true. Well, like, for example, like one of my internship supervisors was like, oh, like we were inviting her to come out with us last week. And she was like, no, like I'm going to pass up. Like I haven't had a night with just my husband and my dog in such a long time. And I was like, imagine even having that. I was like, I haven't had a night with my husband ever because I don't have one. So I think you'll be fine. But still, just the idea of like you get to go home and hang out with someone.
Incredible.
Okay, we don't need to be thinking about this. We are 21 years old.
It's true.
Hank has yet to start college.
Yeah.
I have to think about what I'm going to do next year, which hopefully is this podcast, but you know.
Yeah.
When Hank was visiting me, never measured him before. Hank claims that he's 5'10". So
this is not like an unfound claim. The last time I went to the doctor, they told me that I was 5'10".
Okay. I was like, it's about time we get a measuring tape and measure Hank, because here's the deal. Sometimes he looks tall to me and sometimes he looks like the shortest man on this planet Earth. And I still just, I wasn't really sure. And so I pulled out the measuring tape and lo and behold, Hank is 5'9" on a good day. And I was being...
On a good day?
No.
I was 5'9".
I was actually being generous when I told you you're 5'9".
You marked the exact spot.
No, I was being generous. I was going a little higher.
I'm going to go to the doctor soon and have them...
Take your shoes off.
Have them verify an official representation.
Okay, well, for any of the girls who wanted him, he's short, by the way.
It's okay, size doesn't matter.
Okay, guys, it's like way past my bedtime. I need to go to sleep.
So hungry
I need to wake up tomorrow at 6:45 so I can do another day of working.
Yeah.
Just so that I can.
If you guys liked this,
just so that I can get a job after college, unless this podcast thing works out. Please let it work out, guys. Please.
If you guys liked this, I mean, maybe we can do these every once in a while. If you guys liked it, just
we'll not spam. We're not going to spam you with it, but we'll.
Yeah.
Like I said, we went back to our roots today. We did what we initially thought we were going to do on our podcast, and so you get a little taste of it.
Yeah, maybe like once every couple months we can, drop a little interlude.
And like I said, get ready for the upcoming episodes because I promise they are going to be good.
Yeah, they will be.
So.
All right.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll see. Why are you thanking them?
For listening.
That was so aggressive, too. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming to our podcast.
No, I'm serious.
Anyways, yeah, thanks for listening, and we will see you in our episode next week. Bye.